Hey, what's up everybody? Radx here, the one from 72, the ultra neutral, and I am at one of the archery ranges that I shoot at. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I've been hiking around here. So I wanted to show you this for a good reason. This is actually a really cool range, but that's really not what we're here for. It just is a good metaphor, good point to teach a tool here. So this range actually has targets in a path. So you walk the path and you shoot the targets, and that's how it works, which is really cool. And they even set up, and this video is actually about Bigfoot, but they even set up, like, this lets you know you're 25 feet away if you shoot from here. So the idea is, ranges that are like this, is you got to find the targets, you got to find the bullseye, right? And obviously they're not that hard to find it because they kind of stick out. Just some people put plates and stuff like that on them. But anyhow, for those of you who are new to this channel and don't really know all the story, I would refer to you to go back, watch the 1972 videos, watch the stuff when I went out to Alcor, watch the stuff at going out to Utah, watch the stuff with going to the Serpent Mound and those type of things. I would say go watch those videos, and that'll kind of help you understand, you know, where I'm at today and everything. Oh, and obviously go watch the alien that visited me in 2017, which was a draconian. And you can listen to and here's another target here. You can listen to quite a few testimonies from different people of different things that are anomalies that happen with me that are just, you know, it's like, what are the odds? So there's quite a few testimonies with that. But anyhow, so Bigfoot, why am I speaking about Bigfoot when I've never seen a Bigfoot? I've not into the whole Bigfoot phenomenon thing, never have been. I always just kind of like thought, yeah, whatever. You know, it's a possibility. I'm not saying that it's not a possibility. It's possible that there is some kind of beings out there running around. Watch, all of a sudden now one will pop out behind a tree. Which, by the way, because I'm in Ohio, they said that that one of the most overwhelming places to run into a Bigfoot is in Ohio. Go figure, with all the other stuff going on in Ohio. I guess that's why MUFON moved here about 2 months ago. So look, I know a lot of people are already going to detest a lot of stuff that I say. It's hard for them to listen to me or anything because of the fact that, you know, I have draconian roots and that I'm an Alcor star child. And I know that, you know, that you're programmed, most people, especially here in America, are programmed to hate that, right? Like, don't even really give it much second of a thought. It's just on automatic programming that you just don't even understand how it works. It's like people who stand in line, right? Like, you're taught all your life to stand in a line since you're a little kid, you know, here in this country, you know, to, when you go to school, line up. Always have somebody in front of you, always have somebody behind you. Stand in line, stand in line. And I realize that because of the psyche of humans, because, see, it splits off. It goes that way, or it goes that way. We'll go this way. I realize that because of the psyche of humans, I was understanding, like, why does it always, every time you turn around, you know, there's always somebody trying to bump into you, right? Like, it's like they always try to collect wherever you're at. You know, if you try to sit, if you go to a big meeting and there's a bunch of people sitting up front, you decide to sit in the back, you'll start noticing, even though there's a lot of spaces to sit up front, new people coming in the door, you know, a good percentage of them start sitting back there, back where you're at, right? They'll start sitting next to you. Why do they do that? Well, it's because from a young age, you're programmed to line up, you know, to be next to somebody, behind somebody, or in front of somebody. It's just programming. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And yes, that type of basic programming goes with, you know, all the stuff, you know, that has to do with reptilians, reptoids, serpents, all that stuff, you know. And I'm not a serpent worshiper by any means. I don't even own a snake. I'm not into that stuff. But it's just it is what it is. Anyhow, so with Bigfoot, right? Like, so this is my take on it. And because the reason why is I see things differently than most humans do. And, you know, when you're hearing it from me, you're usually hearing it first. Because my take is different. Look how beautiful is that. People put beer cans up here. So yeah, Bigfoot. Why is it that you never see evidence, right? Like, we never see, let me see. I bet you I can find some type of a track here. I bet you I can find, here's a footprint right here. That right there. Can you see that in there? Can you see that indent? That is a deer track, and look, you can see it here. There's another indent. This is the way they came. In fact, I can follow that all the way up. Oh, look, and now there's a little trail right there. All the way up where some deer came through here. So why do we not find the Bigfoot footprints, right? Like, there have been like some elusive ones here and there. But it's like, how do you just find just one print when you just look right there? And anytime you find prints, you always find more than one. It's not like they just pop up and disappear. So it makes you suspect that, you know, the people who show the footprints are full of shit, right? Like, they just, like, it's possibility, like, okay, so why is it that there's only the one? And now with the cameras and all these other things that they can put up, like, I could be walking in here right now in these deep woods. This goes off to a four-way. I could be walking here right now in these deep woods, and somebody could have a camera attached to a tree somewhere. I would never know it. I wouldn't know it, right? Unless I look for it. I wouldn't know. We're gonna go this way. So how does these Bigfoot seem to be so elusive that they're not caught by modern technology? You know, and maybe there might be some out there. I haven't seen them yet, but there might be some stuff out there with you know, the Bigfoot and these cameras that are catching them. But here's what we know about animals and just beings in general. Just any type of being from Earth. They usually follow patterns. The stand in line thing, you know, the programming. But even animals do a pattern, right? Like you'll start seeing a rut, like, because you'll see a common area where they like to travel back and forth through. That's a skill that hunters use to, you know, head the animal off and catch up with them and you know, and hunt them. That's how they hunt them. Well, you've had some of the best trackers, best hunters in the world looking for Bigfoot, but they can't find no tracks. They can't find evidence left behind to actually find this creature. Well, I'm going to tell you why they don't find them. And this is a really basic one, and you may go, huh, and scratch your head, and maybe you might go, well, I already knew that. More beer cans, more garbage out here. What if when you see a Bigfoot, you're supposed to look that way? Because they always stand out, right? It's not like they're very hidden. They stand out, and then everybody automatically looks that way, and there they see this big hairy monster, right? This big hairy monster that looks like, you know, almost like a man, but a big man full of hair. And that type of thing would draw your attention, right? If it was just a big man, it wouldn't really draw your attention. If it was just a man walking through the woods, that wouldn't draw your attention. But a big hairy man like that, that's just covered in hair, Chewbacca, that's definitely going to grab your attention, right? Well, have you ever heard of Project Blue Book or Blue Beam? I'm sorry, not Blue Book, but Blue Beam. Project Blue Beam became, you know, famous because of them in the Iraqi freedom is what they called it. Freeing them from what? Freeing them from their land, freeing them from their home, freeing them from their lives. I don't know. But during that that invasion of America on Iraq, And I don't choose a side on any wars, so don't start getting all patriotic on me, because, you know, this thing, there's somebody that's going through there. Look at that thing. Doesn't look safe. I'm going up it. So, during that, during the invasion of Iraq, they used a device called Project Bluebeam. And Project Bluebeam was sending a signal in the sky that predicted Muhammad. So that way, what the thought was is that they could get, this is a nice vantage point, which is kind of point to the point, that they could get the Muslims to stop, fall down, worship and pray, just enough time for them to be slaughtered. Yeah, it's a dirty trick, you know, to make them believe that they're seeing something that's really not there, right? And this is not new. This is an old tactic. During Vietnam War, they did the same thing, but they didn't use Project Bluebeam because they just didn't have the technology available like that at the time, at least not that we know of. They would do things like play music that was trying to calm the Vietnamese down or whatever. They do things that over the loudspeakers to do mind tricks on them. And I don't mean dropping a loose leaf saying, you know, just, you know, retreat, run, or any of that crap like that. I'm talking about stuff to play total mind tricks on their enemy combatants, right? So this is an old trick. So you're telling me that the technology that we have, which is been surpassed by thousands of years from other advanced alien species, obviously if they're able to, you know, cross time barrier, cross space, you know, do all these things that we're just not even nowhere in the realm of actually just creating without reversing engineering, right? Like, we're talking just to being able to just create it. You have to reverse engineer the stuff. That species that are so much further advanced would not already have something like a Project Bluebeam on their wrist, you know, or in their mind, to be able to just project all of a sudden when I am, let's say if I am the alien species and I am conducting business somewhere out in the wilderness and I am to your left, right, just over here, and I see you coming, or I can sense you coming before you get here, that I project something that's clearly in your path to make you look that way. Oh my gosh, what is that? There's a target. So now you're looking here, but really I'm over here. And what I'm saying is that you don't see anything left behind. I mean, there's been some stories of some stuff, but for the most part, there's really nothing at all left behind. There's been one, I think, hair evidence, like one piece of hair that was evidence. But even that evidence is still questionable because they just said it was out of place. It, you know, like could come from some other country. More beer cans. The Great Lakes beer. So yeah, think of it more in that way, because it makes more sense that technology is already being used and created by human beings. So a species that's far more advanced than humans can do very well the same thing, and with a very, very small, a lot smaller condensed technology, or simply by doing it of a trick of the mind and being able to force the humans into looking one way. So what got me all into this, you know, doing like a lot of stuff with 1972 and looking into movies and stuff that came out in 1972. Well, one of the most famous Bigfoot movies, you know, that was considered a documentary, that was one of the most controversial, was the 1972 Bigfoot documentary. I'll just say a documentary. where they saw the Bigfoot walking across the water or whatever. So yeah, I mean, otherwise, why is there nothing left behind from these creatures at all? You know, especially when, I mean, Roswell happened, there was a crash, there was bodies, there was things that's left behind. You know, all these other times when there's stuff, when there's aliens or something, you know, like the ones that was the UFO that was over in somewhere in Europe, and what was left behind was a bunch of stuff that the military came in and scooped it all up. There's always this stuff with these militaries coming in and scooping up this stuff, trying to grab up the evidence. But when it comes to Bigfoot, there's no evidence to be scraped up, because it simply may just be technology to make you look over there, right? So in conclusion, closing this out, you know, start changing the way you think of things. Don't start looking for just the things that are there. Start looking for the things that are not there. You know, why is this not here? Why is this not here? Why is that not there? You know, and then you might be able to narrow things down a little bit more in the right direction. So anyhow, guys, yeah, I think I'm just about out of here. How many targets did we see? I don't know, like 4 or 5. Yeah, but yeah, anyhow, like I said, you know, with all the cameras, there should be something. There should be a little bit more, and there should be some evidence left behind, more than just one elusive footprint. And that's another thing too, right? When people say, and I was about to close this out, when people say that, you know, look, we're looking dead at the Bigfoot, we're looking at him, and then all of a sudden he disappears. Well, yeah, because now the alien that was to your left is gone. It did exactly what it needed it to do. It kept your focus and your gaze locked onto that target. It forces you to lock on that target. But in fact, we actually do this in martial arts. People who are really good, skilled martial artists, they'll give you a target that's simply not there. Or they'll give you a target to force you. Like, I learned this in Taekwondo years ago, to give a person a target to force them to make a move. And we also do it in Kempo as well. Force them to make that move, because this is the easiest target to get to. It's open, take it, take it, take it. And once they go to take it, it's not there, and they're getting a counter attack, right? Like, it's a total setup. And that just seems like it makes sense to me that that's what Bigfoot is. It's a target that's really not there. It's just too easy. It's right there. It's big. It's hairy. It's in your face. There's nothing to make it. You know, it has nothing trying to camouflage itself. It's not. You know, it just appears to be like some big dumb animal, which we know it's not. Then where is all the stuff left behind? Why is it not camouflaging itself? If it's intelligent, why is it not doing things to make it so humans can't see it? You know, in other words, you know, having like a guillotine suit or something on, you know, if it's highly intelligent. If it's not, and it's just a dumb animal, you know, then it would leave stuff behind, because it just doesn't have the intelligence enough to cover its tracks. Hence, you know, most wildlife don't cover their tracks. When's the last time a deer or a pig or anything really covers its tracks? Now, somebody's probably going to get on here and say, well, actually, there is a deer in Australia that, you know, or a dingo that, yeah, whatever. But anyhow, it's a target back there too. Let's go look at that target. So yeah, for those of you who are new to the channel and just coming in here and you're just checking out the stuff for the first time because of whatever videos that you watch and saw, I will also be putting up a video here pretty soon, hopefully, if I'm still around. Who knows? You never know. Like, every day could be the last day. You never know. That's why a lot of people who give a lot of bullshit and lies about, you know, the stuff that it's just like, come on, man. You know, if you really have real contact, you really got things going on, or you're saying things, you have to be like always wondering if that's going to be like, if this is going to be your last day, you know, because it's just too much, right? So yeah, I will be trying to put out a video here soon that's going to bring a bunch of the stuff together, to show all the stuff with the, I hear something over here, maybe it's a deer. Bring all the stuff together to show the the journey of the path, how I came to the conclusion that, you know, I'm an Alcor star child and a connection to the Draconians. I'll put a video together, bringing all that stuff together. And I am I'm lost again. Yeah, this is, I'm deep in this shit. I'm gonna go off of my internal navigation here and try to find my way. I think this has to be the way. But you see how this is all like a maze back here? Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I'll try to put a video together for that. I'm definitely working on the video. Something big was over there. Where'd it go? Not moving around. I don't know. Took off. Whatever. It wasn't that big because it was low to the ground. But yeah, and see how it's like a maze back here, and you're like, yeah, you're walled in with trees and stuff. And you got to go over and under. Now it's over this thing. Oh, good. Then there's that noise. That really adds to the experience. So wonderful that he's out here. Also, I'm trying to get the video done for the. Now this is going to be some crawling. Now I got to do it through like military tactics to get through this. And there's a deer track right there. See it? See? I'm trying to get the video done. Hopefully I got no ticks on me. This video went on longer than I thought it was going to be. I'm trying to get the video done for the 1972 and 2020 connections. So I'm trying to get that one done. I'm going to try to get a new updated video of 1972 events like skateboarding, right? You guys know that I was pro amateur skateboarder, and you know, won a lot of contests, skated for 4 companies, skated for almost 20 years, going up in Daytona Beach, and skated in the Warped Tour. Right before you go to the Warped Tour, you win a Warped Tour, you go to Triple Crown. Triple Crown is the big one. It's for those of you who don't understand the skateboard stuff, it's the equivalent of X Games. Which, by the way, 1972, skateboarding was changed forever in history because the first polyurethane wheels were created. And without the polyurethane wheels, skateboarding there would be nowhere near the level of tricks and things that are done without those wheels. So 1972 changed skateboarding, and then it's connected to the 2020. And the reason why is because I know for a fact, and most skateboarders will tell you, you know, that we talked a lot back, you know, throughout the years about what skateboarding would, what the Olympics would do if skateboarding was finally allowed in the Olympics, and how it would change skateboarding forever and validate it as a true sport, because you have to be in good shape to skateboard anyhow. You know, you have to be athletic. So in 2020, they announced that skateboarding will be in the Olympics. So there's another connection. But anyhow, guys, finally made it out. Made it back to what you would consider civilization, and some people may not. And with that, enjoy the rest of the time that you have left.
This video has been popping up, warning that a conspiracy from back in the 90s called Project Bluebeam has finally reached its year of fruition. As just a brief overview, the Project Bluebeam conspiracy states that NASA is planning on projecting a large image into the skies at different locations around the globe. The goal is to deceive the planet into believing in a new global religion. Some people seem to be pointing to other instances of unexplained sky anomalies as evidence that this type of technology has already been tested. This theory began in 1994, when an established Canadian journalist named Sergei Monast started focusing his work on something different from his usual publications. His claim was that NASA was going to attempt to implement a New Age religion with the Antichrist at its head by creating a worldwide simulation of the Second Coming. The following 2 years after Monast lectured on this topic, he became very paranoid, claiming he was being hunted by the authorities. His children, whom he homeschooled, were taken away from him in 1996 so they could receive public education. Shortly afterward, he was arrested and spent a night in prison, and the following day, he died from a heart attack. This, in combination with rumors of another unnamed journalist working on this dying from a heart attack that same year, makes proponents of this theory believe they were assassinated by the government to keep this all under wraps. Step 1 was the breakdown of all archaeological knowledge to set the stage. This stage involves staging earthquakes at various locations around the world, and at all their locations, planting evidence that would prove all other major religions wrong. Step 2 is the most widely talked about part of the theory. In this stage, holographic lasers will be used to beam projections in the sky all over the world of whatever god is most predominant in that area. The god will announce themselves, speaking every language, and then at the end of their performance, every god will come together as one. Step 3 is to use low-frequency rays from satellites that will be used to telepathically communicate with everyone, making them believe that this god is talking to them from their own souls. Step 4, the final stage, is to make all of mankind believe that an alien invasion is about to take place in every major city. The purpose of this is to make every nation strike back with nuclear weapons, eventually creating complete chaos. In addition to this, they will try to convince the Christians that the rapture is about to happen. In the midst of all this anarchy, people will be desperate to accept the New World Order to restore peace to the world. Even the technology described in Project Bluebeam isn't that far off from where we're at right now. In 1990, after Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, the US needed to take him down. A senior Air Force officer suggested projecting a holographic image of Allah floating over Baghdad to encourage people of Iraq to rise against Hussein. A military physicist was tasked with looking into how realistic this was.
Its Blue Beam project test to facilitate future fake alien extraterrestrial UFO invasion. Unsuspected crowd is stunned when creatures started to appear out of the water. Not only they can see and hear them, now they can feel and interact with them. That's right, new Blue Beam technology allows not only to see and hear the holograms, but actually feel them.
It is a 7D holographic technology. That means it is high-quality holographic captured from 7 dimensions, with extremely visual effects. As you can see, a virtual whale splashing through a school gym floor. That seems to be real. But this technology is still under development.
The first time someone sees Bigfoot run across the road, they see an animal, an undiscovered ape. After investigating the topic for decades, if they stay with it, their thinking is probably going to evolve. Certainly did for me.
There is a strong case to be made that Bigfoot, or as they are called by native people, Sasquatch, are in fact non-human intelligent alien beings.
What really interests me are some of the weirder aspects of the Bigfoot phenomenon, where people have claimed to have seen these creatures and they've sort of vanished in a flash of light, or they've literally just almost dissolved, or they've been seen in conjunction with strange little balls of light flitting around the woods, sort of the size of tennis balls, maybe sometimes the size of a basketball, and the creatures have been seen in almost exactly the same location and the same time. But then you have other cases where people have claimed to have seen sort of huge objects, flying saucers, UFOs, in the areas. For example, in 1973 in Pennsylvania, there was a huge wave of Bigfoot/UFO activity throughout Pennsylvania, predominantly in like the forested areas.
Physical misdirection would be actually distracting your eyes with something else. This is a big explosion. This could be a loud noise. This could be a scantily clad assistant walking across the stage. There are many ways to get your eyes to look somewhere else, and more importantly, look away from what we don't want you to see. That's physical misdirection.